My evaluation of Rice, at the beginning of Vissi d'arte, is this singing from the heart? No, this is vocalizing, practicing resonance. Her facial expression shows she hasn't entered the role. Her face is tense, and though her eyes are expressive, it's the wrong kind of intensity. The voice is entirely in the mask. The movement between notes is not smooth, and the tone quality is inconsistent. Why is the final middle note so small? Oh, I understand now. Her breath is entirely stuck in the mask and cannot be properly released downward into the proper place for middle register support. This is a textbook example of the kind of singing Toscanini most opposed, breath support led by the mask. When Renée Fleming sings high notes, by that moment there is no breath support left below the diaphragm. Mask breath support, to be more specific, means a constricted throat and throat-driven tone. This is the cancer of tenor and soprano singing. You can even see Price sometimes tilting her head forward. That means she has to tilt her head forward, or else her resonance and vibrato vanish. I happened to see Fleming introducing Leontyne Price, and I thought, if she learned from Price like this, then how does she sing? The answer, she doesn't sing full operas, only concert versions of operatic arias. Do you understand what I mean? That's her level. She can't handle a full opera. Or rather, singing full operas would exhaust her vocal cords and make recovery difficult. So she switched to concert work. Let me tell you, Caruso hated throat tone more than anything. Two, using my clockwise breath distribution theory to evaluate Leontyne Price's singing. This is exactly the kind of mask tension-based breath support that Toscanini opposed. Her abdominal breath support remains below 40% throughout, which means the primary breath support is located in the mask. As a result, movement between notes becomes difficult, and it's impossible to produce agile, light high notes. The sound simply lingers and vibrates in the mask, which completely departs from the principles of bel canto. When listening to Leontyne Price, one senses an emphasis on vocal effect rather than emotional nuance. However, I must say that her breath support is much better than Renée Fleming's. So I give her a score of 50 out of 100. You might criticize me, but listen to her final middle range note. It is purely a throat tone. The middle voice placement is incorrect. She forces the note downward with her throat. I can tell you, Price can produce a beautiful middle voice, but not in the moment immediately following a high note like this. The high note placed in the mask has already made it impossible for her to sing the final middle note correctly. Throat tone is a cancer. 3. Zinka Milanov was essentially an imitator of Rosa Ponselle. Her breath distribution also had issues, more upper than lower support. However, we can observe that in an effort to strengthen her breath support, she employed a jaw-lowering phonation technique, which demonstrates vocal intelligence. By lowering the jaw, she attempted to bring the sound downward, positioning it closer to the breath support, thereby shortening the distance. This allowed her to produce a better middle register and gave more depth to her high notes. If you listen to Renée Fleming and Leontyne Price, their high notes are extremely oralized. They clearly lack the understanding of using the lower jaw to reposition the sound. Because the sound remains trapped in the mouth, it becomes very difficult to experience the sensation of the high notes lifting and soaring. Milanov didn't completely succeed in this regard either, but at that time, her breath support was still better than both Renée Fleming's and Leontyne Price's. I give her a score of 75. 4. Rosa Ponselle's voice is entirely different from the other three singers. You can clearly sense that she sings with a low abdominal, open-throated technique. The breath always originates from the abdomen and leads the tone, vibrato, and resonance. In contrast, Renée Fleming, Leontyne Price, and Zinka Milanov all rely on oral tension in search of breath support. Rosa Ponselle never aimed for loudness. Instead, she pursued a beautiful sound that carries farther. She displayed delicate and refined breath control across all notes. Her vibrato is elastic and expressive, driven by a rhythmic breath pulsation beneath the vocal folds, unlike the other three, whose vibratos are triggered by tension in the facial mask. And that final middle note, how beautifully it is sung. Descending from a high tessitura, the tone flows smoothly and seamlessly into a broad, resonant middle register without any disruption in vocal structure. That note is the true technical hallmark of a soprano. Naturally, I give her a score of 100.